know, it's not a very nice day outside, but it is a great day inside, particularly because we're here in Springfield, and secondly because of the subject matter that we're going to be talking about in honor of an old friend of mine and of all of you. I'm especially excited to be here in Springfield to present a check for $800,000 to the city's planned Transportation Museum. As governor, it's always a good day when you get to come to a community and announce funding for a worthwhile project that people are very passionate about. But as you well know, this project has special meaning for me, even as this is also somewhat of a bittersweet moment. That's because the museum is named for Mike Haydon, my former chief of staff, who passed away unexpectedly almost 2.5 years ago now. I miss him. And I know we all do. We miss Mike's humor, we miss his dedication, we miss his unique personality. And that unique personality in the governor's office was really something to behold, I can tell you that. I know that Lisa and the children miss him most of all. They lost a devoted husband and a father. His parents, I know, miss their son, and his siblings miss their brother. Kentucky lost one of the most endearing and committed public servants when Mike passed along. He had a long and an active career, as we all know, in state and local governments. But whether Mike was advising governors or working with legislators, he was always committed to what he was doing. But you know, his work here in Springfield, and I've heard him say this, his work here in Springfield as its mayor was where he truly felt that he made a big, tangible difference, where his accomplishments gave him the most pride. And he would be honored, I know today, and as a matter of fact, I think he's smiling on us right now, probably laughing a little bit, that we are going to name this museum in his honor. The museum will educate the public about the history of transportation in this region, and in particular Springfield's contributions to that history. In fact, you could say that transportation is the reason that the town exists. I think history points out that the town was laid out in 1793 at the junction of two old buffalo roads used by early settlers and surveyors. The Great Road, it's now called US 150. It brought settlers from Louisville and Danville, two of Kentucky's main centers of population. Way back then, as we all know, they arrived on foot or they arrived on horseback. Then those methods gave way to horse-drawn carriages, stagecoaches, motorized vehicles, and a bus station, plus the expansion of the rail line. The story of that evolution and how this evolution played a role in the growth and economic development of this region is part of what will make this museum so fascinating. I look forward to seeing it when it's finished. And I'm proud that state government is helping to fund this project with $800,000 from the Federal Transportation Enhancement Program. That program is administered by the Office of Local Programs in the Transportation Cabinet's Department of Rural and Municipal Aid. And Don Pasley is here with us as the commissioner in that area. And obviously, Don served in the legislature, knew Mike well, and they were great friends. So I know that he takes a special pride in what we're doing today. I also appreciate the leadership of Mayor John Ciccone here, the City Council, including, of course, Mike's wife, Lisa. Obviously, serving the local community is in that family's blood. So we're excited to be here. We want to call on the mayor to say a few words. Mayor?
Thank you. The governor took my speech out of my hands. But anyway, on behalf of the city of Springfield, we are honored to accept this gracious grant awarded from the Transportation Department. Former Mayor Mike Haydon would also be honored. and we plan to make this new facility something that our entire community can be proud of. This can be the beginning of perhaps our tie to the bourbon industry as it relates to transportation, or could be a venue for our children in terms of youth activities incorporated with transportation. As you know, this must follow the grant award guidelines and conform to a transportation theme. Exactly what this will be for Springfield is still under consideration. As a matter of fact, I spoke with Lori, who is my chief also, Governor. We about 2.5 years ago, we had some preliminary plans on this, but we were waiting for the funding, and now it's here, so the new council and the new mayor can continue on with it. Exactly what this will be for Springfield still under consideration. It's my hope that we will make the best it can be possible, and the one that will enhance tourism activities, economic development, and create commerce for our community. I project that after seeing what other grant activity has achieved for our town, that we will certainly make the most of this in a proper way to honor the memory of Mike Haydon, who also was the governor's chief of staff. We want to thank the governor and his respective cabinets that assisted in this award. In the city of Springfield, we are honored to have this grant.
And next, let's hear from Commissioner Don Pasley, who is head of the Rural and Municipal Aid section over in the Transportation Cabinet. Don?
Thank you, and Merry Christmas. I wasn't nervous till I noticed that the governor brought his entire staff from Frankfort here today. So I probably should look around the room and try to introduce some folks. I know that Senator Buford is here with us today, and we appreciate having him with us today. Judge Settles, Washington County Judge Executive, and we also have a couple, well, I know we have at least 2 members of the Physical Court. I don't know if we have any more, but we need to recognize the members of the Physical Court being here with us today. From the governor's office, the Chief of Staff, Larry Bond. Executive Cabinet Secretary, Mary Laster. Roger Thomas, the Director of Legislative Services in the governor's office. Eddie Jacobs, who works in the governor's office as well as the Labor Cabinet. I see former member of the House, Jody Haydon, who I was happy to serve with. And if I don't see anybody else.
Senator.
Oh, former Senator Ed O'Daniel. We want to recognize him. You see anybody else, Lisa? Well, hopefully that's used up my 2 minutes that was allotted. But I want to start. I want to start by saying Merry Christmas, and I'm very happy to be here today. I want to thank Governor Beshear in particular for directing the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet to develop and augment programs that help local governments. Governor Beshear has shown a keen interest in not only helping the larger metropolitan areas or larger counties, but in particular a focus toward rural Kentucky during these tough economic times, developing programs that help smaller communities get by. We know how tough it is. One thing I always like to point out, there's major bridge projects in the state, like the Louisville bridges or Brent Spence. They get a lot of press. The governor directed us a few years ago to develop a program to replace small bridges across the state. And we have an 80-20 bridge program that every county is eligible for, and we've replaced over 600 small bridges and drainage structures across the state. Now, and he likes to say the most important bridge is the one that your family drives across every day to go to work, school, or church. So I want to thank him for that. I want to mention the TE program was first created in the early 1990s and offered funding opportunities to help not only expand transportation choices like bike and pedestrian facilities, but also transportation projects that augment the aesthetic, cultural, or historic aspects of the travel experience, such as the Mike Haydon Transportation Museum. These types of projects are quality of life projects. Amenities like your own opera house, museums, bike pedestrian trails are increasingly becoming important to companies looking to locate in a community. Yes, they need the right location and a favorable business climate, as well as well-trained, capable workforce. But they also are looking for facilities that provide health benefits, both mind and body, to keep their workforce healthy and happy. I commend Mayor Saccone, the City Commission, Lisa, staff, volunteers for the many hours of planning and discussions involved in the developing of this project to provide a facility to increase and enhance the economic development activities in Springfield. The scope of the museum will provide both regional and national significance. Located close proximity to the Great Road, which is now US 150, and part of the Lincoln Heritage National Scenic Byway, the scope of the museum will provide both regional and national significance, educating the visiting public on varying methods of multimodal transportation. The museum will provide an educational opportunity for student groups from all over Kentucky to understand the impact of transportation upon the history and successful development of local and statewide economies. I want to finish by mentioning Mike Haydon. I did know Mike for many years and was a very close friend, and miss him every day. When I served in the General Assembly, he was actually a leadership staff person, and I was in the majority. We talked often. I used to kid him about working in the state and being the mayor and being a double dipper. and he made it very clear that his passion was actually being mayor of Springfield. And he did not do it for any money or anything, but was very, very passionate about his hometown. Mike was a force of nature. I think back, my staff kept track, Governor. One day he called me 9 times. There was another instance, and I don't know if Christina Smith's here, but his executive assistant. I told her, because he called me every day, I had a dentist appointment, Governor. And I told her and I told Mike, I said, I've got a dentist appointment tomorrow, so I'll be in the dentist chair. So wait till I get out and you can call me. I was in the dentist chair with the dentist over top of me and the phone rang. And Mike said, Don, you don't have to say anything, just listen. So it's with great pride that I join here with Governor Beshear to announce the Mike Haydon Transportation Museum. And I want to take a point of personal privilege and thank you, Lisa, your children, Mike's parents and siblings for allowing me him to be a part of my life. Thank you.
Well, you can tell, I know by the folks we've got here, what Mike meant to us. We basically have shut down the governor's office today because there's nobody there, but we are going to get back and make sure we take care of your business. But let's wind up things before the check presentation and hear from Mike's wife, Lisa.
I wrote a few words too. I want to first offer my thanks to everyone, not only for being here today, but mostly for your friendship, love, and support. It is always a bit emotional when I talk about Mike. His passing left a huge void for me and the kids, but the support from friends and family helped to fill that hole, and we're so grateful to everyone for the love and kindness that you continue to show. Today's announcement would make Mike blush. He didn't like the spotlight, but at the same time, he would consider this very important to him. And anybody who knew Mike very well knew how important his family was to him. He used to tell the kids that they could do anything because they were a Haydon. Some people may have heard that and thought that he was joking or just trying to encourage his kids, but he meant it quite literally. Mike's motivation and devotion to Springfield and to this community came about because he knew that his family lived here, and he wanted to make this place better for everyone. Blair, Kate, Ben, and I, along with Mike's parents, brothers and sisters, nieces and nephews, will take a great deal of pride in this museum and having Mike's name on it. We know he would have seen it as another big step in making this community better, and we also know that it will stand as recognition of all that he did during his life to improve the lives of the community and the people that he loved. Mike also placed enormous value on the ideals of public service and friendship. As I look at the people here today, I see so many people where those two things came together for Mike. During the time that Mike worked with Springfield City Government as first city administrator, as a member of the council, and then as mayor, he gained so much respect for the work that all of the city staff do. These are the public servants who are the closest to the people, and whether it is having a sidewalk repaired, operating a park, helping to structure a program to result in a museum, these people are essential to so many things that sometimes we take for granted. As important as Mike knew that local public service was, he devoted much of his life to state service for a reason. It was there that he knew that a person could have an impact not just on one community or one group of people, but on communities and people all across the Commonwealth. Mike worked in the legislative branch and in the administration of 4 governors. That experience allowed Mike to see firsthand the sacrifices that people make to perform the oftentimes thankless and always very difficult work of public service. These experiences also brought him great friendships with people that he held in such high regard. Mike could be pretty direct when he wasn't happy with you, but more often than not, he left it to you to figure out for yourself when he thought highly of a person. Since Mike can't be here today, I'll close on his behalf and say thank you to the governor and first lady and to all his dear staff, and to Mayor Ciccone and Laurie Smith and all of the hard-working city employees, and the dedication for your work and dedication as public servants, and particularly for making this museum possible. More than that, I say thank you for being Mike's friends. Thanks.
Now for the best part, the check.